Coucou les amis! Hey friends, it's Camden and welcome to another video. If you're new here, thanks for clicking on this video. I'm Camden and I make videos about my life in France, my teaching journey, and my travels. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my routine and a day in my life during the quarantine in France. I'm currently a lectrice d'anglais, which is like an English lecturer at a university in the south of France. Normally, I teach conversation classes at the university, but since university classes have been moved online and in-person classes have been cancelled to prevent the spread of the virus, we've moved to online classes. So I'm going to show you what my routine is like when I have to work at home and how I lesson plan, as well as some other things that I do in my day. Alright, thank you so much. Let's get into the video. Usually when I wake up, I get really hungry, so I make sure to eat breakfast right away. Today I'm just having a couple of pieces of apple bread that I had made the day before. I used some leftover almond pulp from almond milk that I made, as well as flour, sugar, butter, an egg, and a chopped up pink lady apple. I'm just cutting a couple of slices and placing them on a baking sheet and putting them into the oven for a couple minutes so they can heat up while I take care of other things, like putting away the dishes that we washed the night before, or other little chores like clearing off the table. That way I can kind of multitask and kind of wake up by doing something productive. In the oven they go. Next, I'm making my breakfast drink. Today I decided to have some coffee because it was a Monday and I really needed some caffeine to start my morning. I'm just using instant coffee because I left my French press back in the States and I didn't want to spend more money to buy a new one. And this is really helpful when you are late in the mornings. Having instant coffee it's convenient. I'm just pouring some hot water in there, mixing it up. I'm also going to add some cane sugar. I also don't always add sugar to my coffee because I usually add a little bit of a pre-sweetened soy milk, like a vanilla soy milk or almond milk or something. But today we had a little bit of leftover coconut milk from a can from another recipe. I'm also adding a little bit of vanilla extract in there because I love vanilla. It's hard to find good vanilla extract in France. It's usually syrupy and it has added sugar, but this one was from an organic grocery store, which was really good. So I'm just taking the coconut milk from the jar, just a couple of plops, spoonfuls, whatever you want to call them, and then I'm going to mix that up to get all the chunks out. And I'm also going to add a little bit of water as well because the coconut milk is really thick and I don't want a super thick coffee, so I'll mix that up and then pour it in my coffee and enjoy. It was really yummy. Kind of reminded me of a coconutty Girl Scout cookie, the Samoas. Give this video a thumbs up if you know what I'm talking about, or put a cookie emoji in the comments below. Next, I am going to put a little bit of vegan butter on my apple bread. It's really good, fresh out of the oven. Yes, vegan butter is definitely one of my guilty pleasures, but not that guilty. Eat whatever you want as long as it's in moderation, because that's what I've learned in France is you gotta enjoy things, but in moderation, because otherwise you might have too much of a good thing. Anyway, my Americanness is coming out next with this peanut butter. I am putting peanut butter on one of the other slices, and oh, look at that creaminess. It's really hard to find good peanut butter in France, but this brand is Mandy's, and it's an organic peanut butter, and it's just so creamy and good and doesn't have any added sugar, which is perfect. Honestly, for good peanut butter, you don't need any added junk. Again, since this was a Monday, I decided to sit down and enjoy my breakfast at the kitchen table. Sometimes I'll eat on the couch just to chill out, but I just wanted to sit eating up because I thought that would help me be awake more, and I look like I just woke up, which I did. And maybe I'll check my phone for a little bit as well because, you know, can't help it. Then I'll actually get dressed for the day because I wanted to feel productive when I'm working from home. So this is just a cute little outfit that I put together. Next, I'll start out my workday by making a to-do list. I really like writing things down because it helps me get into a nice mental state. I also think having a checklist of things to do helps break up really hard tasks, and I think it's fun checking off little boxes sometimes. And here's just a sneak peek at my task list. Now I'll show you another fun task. This is how I made my Instagram survey templates. So I use the website called Canva, and they have lots of free templates that you can edit. So first I looked for one that I liked, and I am going to edit it to make it my own. So I'm just increasing the size so I can see better. And I don't want to make one about fashion. Since I live in France and love French culture, I'm going to make a French food edition for this or that. So first I'm changing the little things in the template, so it's not about fashion, it's about French food. So I'm just starting off with some different French foods like croissant, pain au chocolat, and then I'm just continuing to do that until I fill out all of the different spaces. I really like it because you do have a lot of freedom after editing the template. You can start from scratch, of course, but since I'm new to this kind of thing, I like to use templates. So you can also play around with the different colors. Whoops, I accidentally clicked on something else. Anyway, you can play around with the different colors. You can make custom colors as well. I was pretty indecisive about what I wanted, so I tried to find a new color. So next I wanted to play around with some graphics. Since this was a French food this or that, I thought it would be cute to add some little graphics. And they have lots of free graphics. They also have graphics that you can pay for, and they also have graphics for their pro members. I think I signed up for a free trial, so I have access to the pro images right now, but they'll just show you in the little corners below if they cost money or if they're pro or if they're just free. So I'm choosing a little croissant here, and they have lots of different choices, which is really cool. I can't decide what I want, so I'm going back up, and yeah, I keep looking for the perfect croissant. Alright, I finally settled on one and it was way too big, so I decided to shrink the image, and I'm placing it where I want it to go, just so like that. And then I decided to search for a baguette next. Again, it might take me a while to figure out what the perfect baguette is, but I found one I liked. And I don't like the position of it, so I'm just using this little tool to kind of flip it around until I get it to where I want it to go. And I'm placing it right over here. And then I'll do this for lots of other different foods like cheese, wine, all that good stuff. I'm also adding my Insta tag name at the end. Alright, so if you want to see the final product, be sure to head to my Instagram at camden.fr, and you can check out my templates on my Instagram story. For lunch, I'm just having some macaroni pasta with manchego cheese, peas, some vegan butter, and black pepper. It's a really simple lunch, but I needed some comfort food on that Monday. And then for dessert, I'm following the French way and having some yogurt. This is just a really creamy coconut yogurt. And of course, a cute little clementine for vitamin C. Now I'm going to show you a little bit of the online lesson planning I'm doing to prove I actually do work from home now. I'm not just baking and cooking all day and playing around on Instagram. So I'm using Moodle, which is the university's platform. It's kind of like Blackboard or Canvas. And I'm just uploading some activities for one of my geography classes. I teach some non-specialist classes as well as students in the English program. So I'm just giving them some vocabulary. This week's lesson was about mountains, so I found a Quizlet that I liked and gave them the link for that, and I put the directions in the description for them. And then I'm going to add some other activities, but I decided to rearrange the order because I thought they should look at the vocabulary first. Here's some of the vocab words. Next, I'm going to give them an article to read, and I like to use the website Newsella. They have lots of articles that you can use for all different levels. They have articles in English and even some in Spanish. And what's really cool is that you can adjust the reading level. I wanted to challenge my students today, so I picked the maximum reading level. And you can have an option just to print the article if you want to print a quiz. I decided to print the quiz with the answers. I mean, not print it because I'm not in class, but download the article with the quiz and answers so that they can self-assess themselves. And I'm just uploading that as a file. Next, I'm uploading a video for listening comprehension. Since I was doing mountains, I thought it would be cool to do a little video about the Pacific Crest Trail and the movie Wild, and then I'm just posting some questions that they can respond to after watching the video. Finally, I'm just adding a discussion board where the students can talk about their favorite mountains and that kind of thing, just to get them engaged and interacting with each other. Just popping in again to give you a little bit more info about the situation in France. So for about a week now, France has been in a sort of lockdown by the government. So this means that we are not allowed to leave our houses except for very important situations. For example, getting groceries, going to the pharmacy. Other things like individual exercise aren't currently allowed. For example, if you want to go on a run by yourself. However, outings of multiple people are not allowed. So if you live with a roommate or if you're married, you're not allowed to go out with your husband or your wife or partner or roommate. So that's kind of hard. Also, to go out, you need to fill out a special form stating the reasons why you're going out, and you basically have to do one of these each time you go out as well. And police might be outside checking whether or not you have this form. Otherwise, you could be fined. The city where I live in has also decided to place a curfew. So from 8 o'clock p.m. to 6 o'clock a.m. no one is allowed on the streets. And again, you could be punished with a fine or jail time. In France, there are currently around 16,000 cases, I believe, between 14,000 and 16,000. I'm not quite sure about the numbers. Maybe I'll give a little update here. But since the quarantine, the numbers have been growing more slowly instead of accelerating more rapidly like they are in the US where I'm from. So I'm not happy to be inside, but I think this social distancing as well as this lockdown are really important and really help stop the spread of the virus. If you have any questions about the quarantine or what life in France is like now or what it was like before, please let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to answer. Then I'm just doing some exercise. My dad challenged me to do 100 burpees. And of course, before dinner, I'm having a little snack, and these are radishes that I'm just eating with some vegan butter. And for dinner, I'm having some korma, which my roommate made, and it's really delicious. And actually, in South India, you eat with your hands, so that's why I'm not using a fork. It actually tastes better this way. And don't worry, I washed my hands before. After dinner, we just watched some Netflix, and then I went to sleep. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Also, leave a comment saying what you want to see next on this channel. À la prochaine!